Hello, this is Solomon Davis, Right Side Trader. Today is June 29th, 2024, and this is my weekly market review where I'm reviewing the Dow 30, that's DIA, on a quarterly chart, monthly chart, weekly chart, and a daily chart. This is all for educational purposes only because, as we all know, trading is risky. You can lose money at trading. So please check with your financial advisor. Please check with your significant other before getting involved in the trading. Get educated. All right. Also, next week, coming up, I'm going to do a little education myself. It's going to be a little thing on indicators. Here's kind of like the first slide that I'm going to be talking about. But I won't be getting. I'll be getting into them a little bit, but I'm not going to be calling out no particular indicator that you should be using. I think it's the best. It's just an overview on indicators and how you should look at indicators. That's probably it, in my opinion. That's all it is. But I always like doing something like that when I hit a round number on my subscribers. Thank you, new subscribers and old subscribers, for hanging in there and all. But so I'm gonna throw this out there. All right, and also next week I will be taking time off because it's the 4th of July week. I got family coming into town. We're having a family reunion here in Tampa Bay area in Clearwater, Florida here. So I hope to meet some of the family members that are actually watching this. I know a couple of them are. So I'll get to meet them also at that time. So, all right, but let's jump over here to this market review, the Dow. All right, let me maximize this quarterly chart and resize this, and that's good enough. That's zoomed in enough. You can see that. As you can see, we probably closed the month just below that yearly pivot and all. This is the quarter. This is the quarter, and we close just below the yearly pivot. Let me see what that close. That close looking like it's at 391, and this pivot is up here around 398, as you can see. We're still looking kind of bullish and all, even though we have a red candle at the top. We still haven't got any kind of confirmation of this thing actually want to turn over. You know what? And since this is the end of the second quarter, we'll be going into the next quarter. We will be starting off, since it's down here, we will be starting off a little lower. So we got to kind of like see if that candle can actually give us that confirmation that this market may want to turn over for a little while, maybe before the election. Who knows what's going to happen here? But let's go ahead and go down to the monthly chart and see what we see there. On the monthly chart, as we can see here on this monthly chart, the Dow has actually turned back around. The Dow is still staying above the 10 moving average, so technically it still is in a bull market. We did have a little pullback, and it made a new high, back in May, but come here in June. Now here at the end of the month, it did not make a new high, but it did end up closing above pivot. It opened below pivot, this month, and ended up closing above pivot. That's kind of different, but we got a doji here, and also, but that's kind of different for me. But this is good though. This is looking like the Dow, even though it's a small number stock, it moves really kind of slow. It moves pretty big, but it moves slow to me, and all, especially on the big picture compared to some of the other indexes and all. But as we can see, look like it might be trying to chalk up, and we might start getting some new highs by the end of December and all, but we have to kind of like wait and see. Come next month, which will be next quarter, we will, because again, I'm seeing us looking like we're going to be opening above pivot. So that kind of like makes me say, this thing started below pivot and closed above pivot, and now going to be open above pivot. I would expect it to maybe get back up here close to this 400 number and all by the end of come next month. But we have to just wait and see what happens there. And let's go down here to the weekly chart and see what we see there. On the weekly chart, we had this at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We had last week. We had this bullish, almost like I said, engulfing. Wasn't engulfing the wicks and all, but it was engulfing the body, and we did get a little bit of a follow through. But this is a red follow through, so this is not the ideal follow through to actually be piling on to get long. You might want to get kind of like maybe a little bullish, but not really full on bullish and all, with something looking like this, because you can, based on your rules and your strategies and all, you can say, I got a higher I got a higher high than previous week, and a higher low than previous week, but you got a red candle. So what do you do then? you know. But come next week and the next month, you know, these are monthly pivots and all. We will be opening above pivot, so it's kind of things are still pointing towards this market actually going higher come next week, come next month. But we have to kind of like wait and see. Let's go ahead and go down to the daily picture and see what we see there. On the daily picture, this is what I thought this is what I was expecting to see, and that's why I had started counting backwards earlier on a weekly chart. Last Friday we had a bearish looking kind of like pattern at the top where we was kind of expecting it, and it faked you out totally. You know, it ended up opening high, going higher, and all on that Monday. And then the next day, on Tuesday, it ended up coming back down, but it never broke this low down here. This is the low that you would really want it to break to be really trying to get really bearish and all in this market. Right now, it's just kind of going sideways at the top. And I said that same thing about the Russell. I'm seeing that same thing here on the Dow. Because this is where the market actually opened here. We actually ended up closing below where the market opened at this week. And we ended up ending the week with a doji, with an inside candle of a green candle, which is a bearish pattern, another bearish ending in the week with another bearish pattern at the end of the week. So what are we going to get? Are we going to get something like that again, or are we going to get that follow through to the downside? You know, but this is a bearish Arami, you know, on with a Thursday, Friday at the end of the week. But we're going to be starting a new month, and starting that new month, we're going to look like we're going to probably be opening up below pivot. Have to kind of like wait and see. We don't know what's going to happen. Pre-hour, you know, with only being less than $1 away from pivot, pre-market can have us opening above pivot and then going higher. So you have to kind of like wait, kind of like you can see this was a pre-market gap. This was a gap here caused by pre-market and overnight stuff, and we can end up with that same type of thing happening here, where we get that overnight action, where the market actually ends up opening above pivot and then going higher before it comes back down and go lower. If this bearish pattern here actually plays out at all. Just like this one here, it didn't play out at all. So you have to kind of like wait and see. All right, but that's all I have to share. Like I say, I will be off next week. I have family reunion activities going on here, so I won't be able to get to this, and I won't be in front of the computer like that next week. But you guys have a happy 4th. Hope to see some of you guys, some of your family members here, you know, in town, and I'll speak to you guys in a couple of weeks, if not before. Have a good one. Bye. This is Solomon, Right Side Trader. Bye.